But first stop will be in Arizona, but tonight he's in studio with us. Rob, I really appreciate you being here.
Brian's nice to be back. Jamie had a good time, and
Jamie Lissow.
Jamie Lissow, my God.
So you waited, you send Jamie out to explore shows, and if he comes back, so how dare you use him for
he
this?
said he had a good time, and I said, okay, I'll go.
Well, you made it pretty clear here at a few other shows leading up to this that at this point in your career, you've had enough success. You said, I'm going to come out, and you care about the country most. And you said, hey, when it comes to politics, I can't buy what this administration is selling. How tough was that decision?
Well, you know, easy. When you have little kids and you start thinking about, well, I got a good nest egg for them to take care of them financially. But then, like, what does that matter if the country that they live in, where, like, you know, you have a president wins at midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, he loses. You know?
Right.
And so at a certain point, you have to think, well, what are you really leaving behind? If enough people will just say enough of this. And it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republicans, too, because they don't want to give up that power either. And so you really have to, I think, make a case for a return to the normal hatred that we have in our government, where all the branches are
competitive.
Fighting. Yes, yeah. Make it at least fair, where a fairer, and it's not going to be a perfect system. This is this constitutional republic that we have. It's not fair.
Right.
It's not going to be fair for everybody, but it is a better system. And all you have to do is look around to see what's happening in Europe and China, and you go like, you know what, it's still really darn good here. But I do think we have to stop the encroachment of some sort of authoritarianism, which is happening now.
I'll give you an example. I mean, your business, stand-up comedy, it doesn't matter who you know. When you get on stage, it doesn't matter who your dad was, your brother was, your sister was. Yeah. If you don't get the response, you're not going to have success. It's a meritocracy.
Jerry Seinfeld says, exactly. He said, like, if you're famous, you get 30 seconds, maybe a minute and a half, then you got to say something funny.
Right.
Otherwise, people, it doesn't matter. And so you have to earn it. And I do think that, like...
That's the country. That's the premise of the country, isn't it? Go out and compete.
And I do think you have to tell... Here's the problem I have with Generation Z. Now, I think they're good kids and they're waking up, but I think we made a mistake by saying, you could be anything you want.
Right.
You could be anything you want. We have to be more specific with this generation, Brian.
Right.
You could be anything you want. I want to be a horse. No, we didn't mean horse.
That is true.
Policeman, fireman, maybe astronaut, probably not, but maybe, and then, but you can't be a wizard. It's just a movie.
Or, and you can't pick your gender, especially if you're a child. All right, so can we go back and look at your career and you maybe shed some light? Now, the most fascinating careers, which you earned, by the way. If I show you this picture, what are you thinking of? The 1990 SNL cast.
That's a pretty good group. I would say the money's leaning very hard on the left side of that photograph.
Sandler?
Sandler and Rock there. But and Spade. It was a great group. But truthfully, I should have been in therapy, not on TV at that time, and figuring out.
Was this your first year? Was 1990 your first year?
And look, I got the pad right there because I realized what an opportunity this was.
You were writing and performing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it was like, Saturday Night Live was such an incredible place because if you had an idea that was funny, you thought it was funny Monday, you would find out, they'd get to read it in front of everybody Wednesday, and if it got enough laughs, you'd find out if it was really funny Saturday. Right. And then Sunday, people would be repeating it all over the country.
And you just hope that you were in the skit that you actually wrote. I love this movie. It's on in my house in a loop. Big Daddy. What does it mean to you?
Well, this one was just... Adam Sandler insisted that I be in this movie because at this time, it was before The Waterboy came out and became like, that made $39 million in October 1996 or 97, which was outrageous.
Right.
Maybe it's 98. And so he couldn't get me hired to play the Jon Stewart role, and the other one, the studio said no. So he said, look, there's this one role, you can just come in, and it's... I said, it's a Chinese delivery guy. He's got one line. He said, yeah, just come. And then so I come out and did it. And then he said, just come the next day. And I said, there's no lines. We'll come up with some. So he made sure, Adam, this is what a good pal he is. He made sure that I was coming every day for a month, and he made it into a big role. And there was only one line originally in the script.
That is awesome. You broke out first. He was late coming up, right? You came into SNL first. Now, right over here, this is another. Was it 50 First Dates right here?
Yeah, this is one where It was the first time I realized.
Did you have that outfit prior to the movie?
But this one, where you can see who the leading man is and you can see who the idiot is. So this is the first time I realized, like, I was in I was in a movie with real movie stars, because it was Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, handsome and beautiful Drew Barrymore, and they were romantically, I mean, they could just tell they had sparks flying. And I'm the idiot with the mop on my head, and then the guy, this one's my good eye.
Right.
And we ad-libbed most of the stuff, which was.
And this is another franchise that you guys started, Grown Ups, right? Is this a bunch of buddies hanging out, getting paid, and having a lot of people go to the box office to see?
I think so. But Adam wrote a really funny script, and for his buddies to hang out and have a good time. And the thing about that is, like, what white people like the movies, because you could tell that there's a good camaraderie. Oh, and that's my sweet little daughter, Miranda. And that's my new movie, Daddy-Daughter Trip. And, you know, show business isn't healthy for adults, so I decided to bring my own children in it.
Good parenting.
But that's
Adam Sandler's wife is your wife, right? in this?
Yes, and she's terrific. Jackie Sandler's great. And that's going to open in Mexico February 4th and all over South America, and then we're going to bring it to the United States.
Do you still have the competitive fire that got you everything that has got you?
No,
or is it?
I don't.
You don't?
No, you know what I realize is, like, it's the time is becoming more precious. That's what gets you. Is that the time, and you're like, what do you really want to spend your time on? And it's, I want to be with my kids, but at the same time, when you do something, you have to love it. And I do love acting, and I do love the chance of making people laugh. And that's the thing that keeps me going, is when I get in an airport and somebody says, I remember with 50 First Dates, my mother and I saw that movie together, and we laughed, and that's one of my
That what makes it worth it?
That totally does, yeah.
Rob, great to see you. Thanks so much for making time with us
Thanks
on a
for these
Saturday
beautiful
night.
pictures.
I know you're not used to working this early on a Saturday night, but I appreciate you being here.
Thank you,
And we'll
Brian.
check you out in the road in Arizona. We have the key to happiness straight away. Yes, the key to happiness only on One Nation. You heard me.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.